Hey, also coming up today, wow, this is going to be a show. Dr. John Shufeldt is here, and he's got some great advice. He's going to be talking about the physiology of love. That's right, what it does to our bodies, mind, and spirit. Nice. Actually, kind of, the physical side. Welcome back, everyone. This is a very interesting kind of medical health segment. It has to do with love, the physiology of love, believe it or not. Dr. John Shufeldt is our doctor who is in the house quite regularly, making house calls today. And, you know, when you told me about this segment, I thought to myself, Dr. John, what's going on here?
Well, it's not a typical emergency department store. People don't come in and say, you know, I'm having a hard time falling in love. What can you do for me? Do you have a chemical I can take? But people,
maybe just
wonder.
A nicer guy. Oh, just
yes,
kidding.
Right, yeah.
Oh, just kidding.
But people, I think, wonder what's that feeling like in their body. And so I looked it up and did some research, and I thought, what a cool thing to talk about, because I don't think people realize what happens to them when they have that feeling like, hey, I'm falling in love. How cool is that? What's going on with my body?
Well, I always know that I feel cuter, and you're like bubblier. I wonder, is there like some kind of endorphin release or something going on?
That comes later. So I brought some models.
Oh, no.
I had to borrow these, of course.
You sure?
Well, yeah. Or we could. Anyway, but don't. we want.
You know what? You know this
that's a bad haircut. I know.
This doesn't look like Ken. You know who this looks like? The guy from Anastasia. I'll bet you I'm right.
He looks like one of the Suns players. I was looking at him. I thought, oh my God, that is clearly one of the. He'd be up here though.
Yeah, right. A little taller, I think.
Right.
Almost as tall as you. Anyway, yeah. So we have Ken and Barbie. Well, don't put her face down now. There you go. Ken and Barbie have fallen in love.
Right. Now, what is going on with Ken and Barbie? What is going on inside Ken and Barbie right now, you may be asking?
Well, I don't know. Can we discuss
a lot of plastic.
Yes.
What's really going on, though, is Ken and Barbie right now are feeling something called PEA, or phenylalanine, and it's a kind of amphetamine-like substance that is secreted by your brain. So when people get that kind of jittery feeling, like they've just had like about 5 cups of espresso, or their palms are sweating, and their heart's racing, they can't sleep at night, that is all kind of neurochemically related. And that's that feeling that you get when you see people, or when you find somebody and you have that share that look, and you're like, wow, you know, my heart's racing, or my palms are sweaty.
It's like pitter pat, pitter pat.
Right.
So there's something in the brain that triggers
something in the brain that triggers it. Very neurologically.
Yes.
And actually, it's related to chocolate. There are small amounts of this phenylalanine in chocolate, and they theorize, obviously, that's why one of the things that, Valentine's Day,
Christmas, special occasions, a box of chocolate.
Right, but you don't get a lot of lollipops. I mean, you look at the lollipop, yeah, that's nice, great, thanks. And you give it to the dog. However, the chocolate, phenylalanine, you get that same sort of microdoses, exactly.
Wow, no wonder I love that stuff.
Amen.
With or without a guy, who cares? It just tastes good.
Just give me some chocolate and have a nice day.
Exactly.
So they think the phenylalanine lasts about up to 3 years, 3 to 4 years. You get this, and then
well,
and so you can
there's the real story. Then we start having problems. Honey, I said take out the trash because my phenylalanine is really low.
Right, and stay out with it.
What is that again?
Yeah, so that's right, phenylalanine, PEA.
Oh, good.
So PEA starts going down after 4 years. You know that Marilyn Monroe movie, The 7-Year Itch? Mm-hmm. 4-year itch. And actually, if you look at divorce rates, divorce rates typically peak around year 4.
That is really
fascinating.
That is.
So after that, I bet you're wondering what happens. So now Ken and Barbie, they're looking a little more disheveled, but it's because it's 4 years down the line. So what's going on with them?
You know what? I've got my life. You've got yours.
Yeah, have a nice day.
Yeah,
you get the car. I got the house.
Mm-hmm. Year 4.
You're right back at it.
Right.
Endorphins. After a certain amount of time, the PEA kind of starts dwindling, and your body gets used to it. So you start secreting endorphins, and endorphins are natural opiates. And so when people
when I go running, those endorphins are released. When I get a really good sale and I get a really cute outfit, whoo,
endorphins go up.
They do.
And that's the chemical that's after about 4 years or so, that chemical kind of takes over where the PEA left off. So when people have about separation anxiety, what they might actually be feeling is less endorphins, and they actually start withdrawing from those opiates.
So when people go through counseling, and when you have true love, and of course the first love and new love is always exciting, and then it kind of simmers down, what do you do to jumpstart it along the way?
Besides chocolate, you mean?
Yeah. Hopefully.
A lot of things.
A diamond ring, a little glitter.
Right.
A fabulous cruise.
Right, or some amphetamines.
Yeah. That will help.
I'm not sure if you can. I'm not sure if you can actually re-jumpstart the amphetamines, because your body's now kind of used to them. So some people, you know people probably who are every 6 months to 3 years. They are, that's about how long their relationships last. And they're kind of the relationship junkies. Okay. And then people, once they've stayed married for a while, are much more used to the endorphins. And that's kind of what they crave as opposed to the amphetamines. They looked at mice. and if they gave a male mouse vasopressin after meeting a female, vasopressin is called the monogamy chemical.
Right.
And if they gave a male mouse vasopressin, that mouse was hooked to that female for life.
There needs to be more of that given, I think, distributed through all pharmaceutical institutions.
In the water.
Yeah.
Because only 3% of mammals.
Interesting.
Yeah, 3% of mammals are monogamous, and everybody else has to work at it.
Wow.
And we aren't it.
Dr.
Not we.
John.